That's maybe some advice I could give to any writer is act.
To me, they kind of come from the same place, I guess. So when I was little, and my whole life, when I was little, I would have, I'd just make up stories, but in the stories I'd be all the characters, so it was it was both in my head and sort of acting. It was just like, like having a split personality or something. You'd be like, 1 minute you'd be, I don't know, whatever I'd be at the time, sort of age 5, serial killer or cheerleader or bewitched snowman or whatever it was, and so it came from the same place. And I think that it's very, very helpful to have been an actor, because I think that you start to, there is a rhythm to speech, there is a rhythm to each character's speech, and so you can't just write on the page. I try as much as I can to write only in my head for years. I mean, years and years and years. I go over scenes, I live in houses, I live in worlds. I know I've written Saltburn, the scenes in Saltburn, it's been 7 years of living in those scenes. And I try to preserve that feeling until the very last minute. When I know that it's finished, then I write it down, because it keeps that kind of human quality, I think. The moment you start working purely on paper, it just changes the nature. It's a different thing working on paper to speaking. So that's what was very useful as an actor. I would often find you could tell when scripts had been reworked and redrafted on paper a lot, because they stopped having that natural rhythm of speech. People stopped having individual voices and started to have a kind of screenwriter's voice. So that's something I'm very careful to kind of always look out for.
I thought we had a connection.
Okay. How old am I? What are my hobbies? What's my name? Sorry, maybe that one's too hard.
That's how I write. When I write, I don't sit and type. I walk all around this room and act, and I kind of act out, all the characters, and do it again and try takes, and there's a lot of acting before there's any writing. and it's when I end up saying something that sounds right to me, then I run back to the keyboard and write that down real quick. And then I get back up and keep acting. I don't know, maybe that's not the right approach for everybody, but it makes sense. It's how I do it, because that's what I've done my whole life. And so I guess the instincts that I've built up over the years of acting in movies, and hearing from directors what's good and what's not good, or getting to act in front of an audience on, like you mentioned, Third Rock from the Sun, and getting to do that for years and kind of getting a feel for, this is what will make them laugh. That won't make them laugh. If you want them to laugh, you have to time it like this. You have to land it like that. And I don't know that I could. It's hard to put into words a lot of those feelings. It just comes from kind of having done it. But I think that even if you haven't gotten to act in shows and stuff, if you're just someone who loves watching movies or who loves reading good books or whatever, if you do that enough, you will build up your own taste and your own instincts. And I think the human mind is an incredible thing that will deliver you those feelings and intuitions if you feed it enough input.
Point I'm making is, why would I go talk to somebody if they're not going to have anything interesting to say? What am I really doing? Just trying to have sex with a girl?
Okay, I started loving movies. I grew up in Toronto. I didn't think being a movie director was really an option. It never occurred to me. There was Cronenberg, not many other examples that I knew of, at least. But I did love theater. My parents, I was lucky that they took me to a lot. So in high school, I founded a children's theater company to pay my way through university. We toured around with my friends. We created shows together. And that was the first time all the disciplines, writing, we wrote, performed, and directed our own shows. So they all got blended together to me. And so I didn't really start with acting. I was acting in high school, but I was also writing, sort of. I was doing collective shows, and then I founded my own theater company, and we wrote and acted and directed. And then I was hired to write a movie by Bruce McDonald. And that sort of drew me into the writing side. And lo and behold, the possibility of a career in the movies and television seemed like a possibility.
Did those like live performances and that, instant audience feedback, did that change your writing or the way you think about the audience or the material you work on?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I mean, I co-wrote a musical called The Drowsy Chaperone on Broadway, and we did previews. And in that kind of show, yes, it's obvious. You do a joke, it doesn't work. You try another one the next night, it works better. That's really obvious. What I think helps is, as a writer, having that actor side as an ingrained in my bones. You can sort of feel this works. This could play. This would be enjoyable to deliver. I think that sort of instinct really informs my writing. I like to do stuff that I think actors will enjoy and consequently viewers will enjoy. I think that is, helped me work with Robert, for instance, in this show.
Like that quote from Trotsky, what is to be done? What is to be done?
I'm pretty sure that's Lenin.
To be accurate, it's Shinashevsky. Lenin was just quoting him.
Ah.